This video is going to be about my coming out story, and I know it's kind of overdone on YouTube, but I figured why not let people know. I mean, there are kids out there that don't have it as fortunate as I had it, and I'm really thankful for what's become of my coming out experience. So I want to let other people know what happened to me, and maybe they could base some things off of my coming out experience that would help them with their coming out experience. In middle school somewhere, I would say around 7th grade, I really started to realize what being gay was. It never really hit me thinking that I would be gay someday, or that I would realize that I was gay. I had a lot of girlfriends, I was in a lot of activities, and I guess you could say that I was like the gay kid as far as being really flamboyant and everything. In middle school I was really a flamer. Like, that's the only way I could put it. I was definitely a flamer in middle school, and I didn't really realize that that would translate into anything else. But yeah, so I started looking at guys in my class differently than I looked at the girls, and I always thought, I was like, oh, I have so many girlfriends, it must mean I'm really straight, and I was like opposite of the case. But anyways, I was bullied throughout school for being in dance and being a stereotypically flamer-like kid in my class, but I never really understood it was because I was gay. Really mean in middle school. It's probably the worst time of my entire educational career, just because everybody was really rude and everybody was insecure with who they were. I know it wasn't just me, but I was called fag all the time, and I got pushed into lockers, and I remember this one kid in my class was like asking me if I wanted to fight him. I was like, no. It was really strange, and that was like the worst. So after I had some time to get used to it, I think this was in 8th grade now that I really came to terms with it. And I remember in 8th grade we had a reading assignment, and we could choose from a couple of different books to read for like a book report sort of deal. And one of the options was to read The Misfits, which I found out had a gay character, and I was like, oh, I need to read this. I need to see if I can relate to someone. And I didn't really tell anybody that's the reason why I wanted to read it. I was like, oh, it's about, adolescence and growing up and everything. I was bullshitting it totally. But I read it, and I totally realized, I was like, there's a character that was totally like me. And I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely gay. I just have to come to terms with it and then embrace it and then tell people. And that didn't take long, because after I figured it out, I totally connected dots to dots from way back when. I remember like being obsessed with Leonardo DiCaprio from Titanic, because that was totally my favorite movie, and I was like, oh, duh, I totally had a crush on him when I was in kindergarten or whatever. And then just the way I looked at guys as being more mysterious to me, and just, I don't know, kind of seeming like I had more unfinished business with them than I had with girls, because I really understood girls more than guys, and I was like, oh, there's a level that I need to figure out with that. Anyway, so I was like, oh, that's attraction instead of just, hey girlfriend, like having a friend. So after the dots clicked, it was like the end of 8th grade, and I was doing marching band, which is like, it doesn't matter who you are in marching band, you're in a big old family and everybody loves you. But I met some people that were in the grade above me, and during finals week we went to this place called the Sleeping Bear Dunes, which is in Michigan, and it's like so beautiful and serene. And I was like, okay, well, I think it's time that I come out, because the people that I was with were really big supporters in GSA and everything, and I was ready to tell people. And so I came out that July evening in 2008, and it was great, because they were like, James, we don't care who you are, we kind of figured it out for ourselves. And it was so liberating to like let people know who I was and not have to hide it, even though it wasn't hidden very well that I was gay. But just coming out was awesome. And then I remember getting back to town and thinking, okay, well, now I can tell anyone. I did the idiot thing, and I guess I started texting people, even though I don't remember doing that, but my friend's like, oh yeah, James, you texted me that you were gay, and we're like, oh, So anyways, I told a lot of people over the summer, and then when I came back to school the next year, I was like, okay, well, how's this bullying going to be this year? And really, I was so shocked by the shift that happened over that summer from middle school to high school. And it wasn't, there were like no bullies. People didn't bother me. And I don't know if it's because I took the power from them away just by saying, yeah, I'm gay. You don't have anything to accuse me of anymore. But yeah, that was awesome. I came out to my parents. It was a little different of a story. My mom and I were at breakfast one time, and I was just talking to her, and she's like, James, I'm worried about you because I had this one friend that was, my best friend at the time, and she really liked me on more than a friend level, and I really didn't. And she was like, James, do you like girls? And I was like, Mom, I like guys. And she was like, like, it was a really big shock to her, even though it probably wasn't, because she'd been asking me if I liked girls for a long time, and I've been like, oh, I don't have any preference right now, and just living life or whatever. I don't know. And then, yeah, when I told her, she was like, okay, well, that was just kind of a shock for her to hear. And then she totally got used to it, and now she has a button that's like rainbow and says, I support my gay child, and we talk about everything. And I came out to my dad. It was a little different of a story. I had been talking to this one guy on YouTube because he had put out one of these videos, ironically, and I was like, okay, well, I need some help. And then anyways, I was reading my email one day. My dad walked in, and he like saw this, I think his channel was called A Story of a Gay or something, and yeah, he saw it, and he's like, who is this person you're talking to? And I was like, well, this guy from YouTube. And he's like, do you know if he's like a pedophile or something? And I was like, oh, I watch his videos and he's my age or whatever. And yeah, anyway, it ended up getting kind of heated, and I was like, Dad, I don't feel the same way about girls as you do. And anyway, so he kind of took the hint, and then we discussed like talking to strangers on the internet, but then really never discussed me being gay. I think he just kind of knew. So I didn't really actually come out, but then they're like, okay, well, when you want to start dating guys, you know, you have to like introduce them to us and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, so you're embracing it. My coming out experience was really easy, surrounded by people that really supported me, and I haven't really had any trouble throughout high school with people not accepting my homosexuality, just probably because I'm open about it, and I don't like put it in people's faces. They just know that I'm gay, and it's like, okay, well, what's for lunch? If anybody needs any advice or would like somebody to talk to, feel free to message me or get in contact me through YouTube. It helped me so much to know that there were people my age that really understood what I was going through and that could, you know, really relate. I'm 18 and I've been out for 4 years already, and I couldn't imagine still being in the closet. But if there are people out there that are, I would like feel free to just contact me because it's not a problem. To just think of how good life is with being out of the closet, I couldn't imagine stepping back in. And to think of how far I've come is amazing. So, if you need any help or anything, just let me know.